Guys, we just got invited to go over to Daytona Beach, Florida to meet up with John Wilds. I'm excited. I have a few questions for him, but let's get going. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Daytona. We're now at the hotel. We drove for about 4 hours and now we're here. We got a place to stay here. Actually, it was gifted to us by John, but yeah, we were just chilling at the hotel. Let's go find some coffee and refresh, and then we'll go and meet up with John later on. All right? All right, so that man right there, Jeremiah. Wait, Elijah.
Oh, you blew it.
That man right there, Elijah, made me this amazing cup of coffee, and I think it's time to do a little coffee rating. Okay. Oh, that's strong. You were right. I like it. I'll give this about a 10 out of 10 for coffee strength. This is gonna keep me awake later on in church. I like it. You know what you do? You do this, the strong coffee, and you go through with a flat white. It balances out. Alright, guys. Gotta go now. Gotta go see John and talk with him for a little bit. Yeah, this is a new little segment that we're going to be installing to the vlogs. Coffee rating by Vasily. So we are at John Wild's house right now. John,
Good to see you, man.
good to see you. Actually, thank you so much for having us. It was a really fun day, just hanging out with you, being able to just get to know you as a person. It's actually our first time hanging out together, even though I've seen him 20, 30, 40 times
Yeah.
in the open. But no, I really wanted to, the whole entire reason was that I really want to get you on the vlog and get you in front of the camera is because I talk about worship, and I talk about worship as if it's so easy and it's so personal, because worship is not about entertaining people. It's about ministering to God.
Right.
You know, and I wanted you to share your heart into what worship looks like for your life, so that maybe even to tap into viewers, break it down, because they see you worshiping, and though it looks like you're worshiping for a crowd, are you focusing on the crowd at all when you're doing that?
No, obviously there's I guess an assignment to lead people to worship, but really the greatest responsibility I think that you have as a worship leader obviously is to adore Jesus. But as you're leading people, it's to just be a sign that points to him.
Wow.
A directional sign, if for lack of a better example, but a directional sign that literally points to him, his goodness, his mercy, his love, his beauty, his splendor, all that he is. So you're just in the room, not as the most significant worshiper in the room. That's not what worship leading is. Worship leading is literally you saying, hey, look at Jesus. He's good. So, but worship to me is one constant, consistent, continually relentless yes to Jesus. For me personally, that's a constant, consistent, continually relentless yes to him, which is a no to everything else. And trying to live that out as best as possible.
Wow.
Saying yes to him in every area of your life.
That's what you're describing is more of a lifestyle rather than a set.
Right. Yeah.
Because your worship to Jesus is not finished when you're finished singing in front of people.
Yeah. So Romans 12, one of my favorite scriptures, present your bodies living sacrifices. It says in view of God's mercies, meaning he's already initiated this thing. You're not bringing something and starting some sort of exchange. He's already started it, right?
Yeah.
So in view of all that he's done and all that he is, present yourselves to him, your bodies, your whole self to him as a living sacrifice.
Wow.
So that puts us in our place. That scripture, it puts us in our place. God is on the throne and we are on the altar. And that's the way that we're to live. That's what makes worship a lifestyle.
You know, when I was back last year, I haven't even shared this to you, but I went to the Global Revival Retreat, and we were sitting at a retreat, and as we're sitting there worshiping, do you know Roman Kirchuk?
Mm-hmm.
He shows up there randomly.
Yeah.
And he was vibing, but we didn't know he was coming. And this man shows up, and he's like, you guys need to learn what real worship is. And that's presenting your body as a living sacrifice. And here you are saying exactly the same thing months later, almost a year later, saying exactly the same thing. I feel like that lifestyle for Christians is hard to understand because a lot of us grew up in a church worship where we worship for half an hour and then we listen to a sermon and then we go home. But whenever worship goes into your home, and whenever worship doesn't stop at church but it ends up into your car and it ends up in your secret place and ends up into your house, something starts to transform in here. Yeah. And you know, whenever we're worshiping him and our hearts being transformed, would you say that our lifestyle would then be transformed as well?
Absolutely. Because worship is also beholding the Lord. So how can you behold him? How can you look at him and want to look at anything else? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and we all have our moments where we tend to veer off. But when you really look at him and behold him and see his face, see his beauty, how could you be captivated by anything else?
I love that. But an example, if you could bring us from your life, your personal life, what does it look like to you to behold him?
It means, honestly, to look to him, look unto him, look at him in every area. So for me personally, I'm trying to explain this the best way to where it's relatable to everyone.
At 10:42 at night.
Yeah. I don't even know what time it is. My watch is wrong. You know, I never set it when daylight savings because I'm being rebellious. But anyway, no. So look at Jesus. I mean, look at him. Look at his face.
Yeah.
There's love in his eyes, and that love is for you. It's a passionate, deep love that you can't experience. That kind of love, the love that he has for you, you can't experience that anywhere else. There's no one who loves you as much as he does.
Yeah.
So that's enough to change your life if you will receive it. So, I mean, really, I'm it's kind of hard to say because everyone has to have a personal experience with the Lord, a personal relationship with him. But when you have a personal relationship with the Lord and it's deep, like it goes deep, then there's literally nothing else that brings that satisfaction to your life.
That is so good.
Nothing else will satisfy you. Like everything else just leaves you empty, leaves you dry, leaves you hungry for more, and you're in a place where eventually you become frustrated because it doesn't actually solve any issue in your life. And then it just creates more.
And then you're stuck there wondering, like, why is it that I only encounter God in church, but then when I leave church, there's no God technically in my life?
Yeah. Well, that's because now church is a great tool, and I think beautiful things happen there. But really, if the right things happen in church, it should inspire you to walk with God personally.
I think Edward Gilmer says something like that public kiss leads you into that secret adoration. Or I always butcher how he says it, but he says it so beautifully.
I mean, anyone trying to quote Eric is going to butcher it because only Eric.
The man is a poet.
Oh my gosh,
the man is
amazing.
Poet. I promise.
Yeah, amazing.
I love listening to him. My mind just.
Yeah.
But just to kind of like bring this to a closing, we didn't want to make this long, but we wanted to make it short, sweet, straight to the point for you guys. For somebody that's just like John, I want to worship God. I want to worship him and see and that as a lifestyle. What do you think the first step for them is?
I think asking the Lord to come into your heart, because you've got to know him. Okay, you've got to know the Lord to really move into that deep worship, that deep place of worship. And he's ready and available to you. So just ask him into your heart. That's what I would say first. And then as you do, just receive his love for you. Because if you receive his love, then you'll approach him rightly, you know. And then when you approach him rightly, you know that you're loved, that you're valued, that you're cared for, that you're his child. And it takes you into that place that you can have one-on-one, just like I have a relationship with him.
Yeah.
You can have a relationship with the Lord. He's a person. I think that's another key, is coming to him as if he's a person, because
Yes.
he is.
Yep.
And because he's a person, he wants to have a personal relationship with you. You can talk to him. And as you begin to worship him, meaning laying your life down for him and saying yes to him in every area of your life, you begin to live a lifestyle of worship. Wow. And then the singing comes along with it. He gives you a song. You don't have a song if you don't have a deep love for the Lord. And he doesn't, and because he doesn't want necessarily your song. Obviously, he loves for us to sing to him. But more than he loves your song, he wants your heart.
Wow.
And so if you give him your heart, along with your song, it's so amazing, because I tell people all the time, God does not receive all worship. He actually doesn't. Mm-hmm. He receives proper worship. They that worship him in spirit and in truth. So just make it true. Bring everything to him. He sees it all anyway. Bring it to him. Lay it before him. Give him your all. Give him your yes. And give him your heart. And as you give him your heart, then bring your song, and he receives it, and it's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for allowing me to even get this on video. You've told me so much today that I'm gonna be able to just come home and hopefully remember everything to write it down. There's a textbook. But yeah, thank you.
No problem. Love you, man.
Yes, love you. So we are now back in Orlando at Deeply Coffee, and just one of my favorite study vibes in Orlando to just come here and study. You guys should really check it out if you guys come here. But I just wanted to end the vlog off with just saying thank you, John, for allowing us to stay at your house, just calling us out so randomly on a Saturday to your house. It's just such spontaneous occasion, such spontaneous thing in the first place. So I thank you for this. It was really fun. I learned a lot, and I hope that everybody that watched it, everyone was able to hear your voice. I think you guys also learned a lot from it too. Just hearing his heart in worship, hearing what he had to say about it. It was really important. I think that each one of us has a long way to grow and something to go to as we worship God. So with that in mind, if you guys enjoyed this video, share it around, have fun with it.